computer. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. We are on another show today, another country, another beautiful country that we will know more about. And this program is to help you increase your cultural competence. My name is Mona with Mona Lu International, and I work with organizations seeking to increase their cultural competence so that they can produce better, produce more, have a better team performance and harmony in their work environment. And I have with me today someone that accepted to talk to us about his culture, about his country, that is Netherlands. Let me let you introduce yourself. Go ahead, Gopi.
Hello everyone, my name is Goffe de Boer. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm working online as a business coach. So I do business like people from all over the world. Before I worked in online marketing, I also studied intercultural communication together with languages. Like I also speak 4 languages fluently: Dutch, English, Spanish, and French.
Very nice.
So yeah, this has allowed me to do business with a lot of people in the world because I'm knowing so much about culture and languages. So it built a lot of trust, of course. So that's definitely something I have in favor, like unlike others, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but before we get to that, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Before we get to that, tell us a little bit about Netherlands location, as far as weather, because there are a lot of people that don't know much about Netherlands. Is it a republic, kingdom, and all of that? We want people to understand because obviously, before we do business with anyone, the best thing to do is know a little bit about their country, which obviously can be utilized and used as a point of conversation or strike in conversation with someone. It's always helpful to know a little bit about the country. So let's know more about Netherlands before we dive into the business.
right. Yes. Now, Netherlands, it is a country in Western Europe.
Mhm.
And it's a really, really small country, actually, but with a lot of people, so dense population. We are almost like 18 million people here. So we had a lot of people in the same place here. And it's a kingdom. So we have a king, and we are people. We are a country with 12 provinces. And we, like I said before, really living close to each other. And the Netherlands, it's a country that is it's famous because of the export, right? So
Mhm.
I think after the United States, Netherlands is the second country worldwide where we export to other countries. So first of all, we are dependent on a lot of countries, especially within the European Union.
Uh-huh.
But also we trade a lot with other countries worldwide. And I think this is also because, Netherlands, like the people in the Netherlands, Dutch people are really internationally orientated. So unlike other countries like Italy, Spain, or France, I think the Dutch people are more, they see themselves more as world citizens.
World citizens.
And this also is related to the way you're doing business with them. I think there's people that want to see themselves as world citizens, and they like to speak their languages also.
Okay.
uh,
And that
yeah
is Dutch language. That's the main
yeah
language in Netherlands, and obviously English is the second language for most Dutch people, right?
how it actually works. The only official language is Dutch. Now I also speak Frisian, which is a second national language in the Netherlands. It
Oh.
has kind of a national status also.
Mhm.
And it is spoken by almost 500,000 people. And Dutch people are famous of their ability to speak English. If you see the statistics, we are always the first country that is first in English from the non-English speaking countries. If you go to our universities, everything is in English, and like you can live in Amsterdam for years without speaking any word of Dutch, right? So yeah, and Dutch people are proud to speak their languages, not just English, also other languages. We are quite fluent in, yes.
Very nice. And the neighboring countries, I know Belgium and no other places. Tell us the neighboring countries, because obviously that brings up uh, that alone brings in some form of influence as far as culture. What are the neighboring countries?
Yeah, it's Belgium in the south, indeed, and Germany on the east, and the rest is actually surrounded by the North Sea.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are the countries we are surrounded with. But like yeah, actually, especially Belgium, it are all small countries.
Mhm.
So in just a few hours, you're in Paris, in France, or in
Yeah,
London, in UK, in Denmark, in Switzerland, Luxembourg. So it's really well connected to each other as well by train and by any kind of transport, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
I do remember that there is actually a street where people live that is dividing Netherlands and Belgium. Just
yes,
pretty
yeah.
much a street. I mean, a street. You're talking about you're walking on the street, and then you are right here on Netherlands land, and then you go to this street right next to it. You're in Belgium. That was a
Yeah.
pretty neat.
That's correct. Yeah, and that's kind of common in Europe, right? Like the European Union is not one country, but you can really cross from one country to the other because there are not really borders where you have to, yeah, show your passport. Like we are living in the Schengen zone,
Yeah,
and the
Schengen.
Schengen zone is actually, yeah, so it's quite common to not just in the Netherlands and Belgium, but for example, between Italy and France, it could happen the same way, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just because, yeah, we are in the Schengen zone, and like we can just work also in other countries without asking permission. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Now, let's dive into the business part of it. We, first of all, when we do business with any country, obviously there are few things, or these are the traditional um, characteristic that we analyze each culture by, and then I'll go down the list, and then we can talk about them, and you tell us a little bit more. The directness, how straightforward Dutch people are,
Yeah, that,
how they communicate as far as uh, directness. I know before I went out there, they told me be direct and honest, but they didn't tell me the rest. So go ahead, go until I found out myself. So go ahead and tell us how is that characterized?
yeah, it's true. Dutch people are really straightforward and direct. So in that regard, yeah, they directly want to have the answer, and like they don't see other things around it. And yeah, you see this also in business, right? So when you have a conversation with them, they also think literally, okay, it is like this, and they directly want to have the answer. Now, instead of what I see, like unlike what I see with Americans, like when you do business with Dutch people, they always want to think about things, and they want to see how it goes first. So they might do some more research. So I
Mhm.
would say the uncertainty avoidance rate
Yes.
in the Netherlands is it's a bit higher than in the US. Like with the investments, I see Americans they invest quicker and sooner,
Uh-huh.
well, Europeans and Dutch people, they have to, yeah, just see, and they are a bit more uncertain. So in that regard, we are not really direct. But when it comes to, yeah, things just saying how it is, or just asking for directions, or just talking about life, yeah, they prefer to say directly how it is. That's right. Yeah. We
Okay.
are
So
really straightforward and direct. Yeah, but not as straightforward and direct as Germans, I would say. Germans are even more straightforward and direct.
yes.
And this also causes some intercultural problems between Germans and Dutch people.
So, it's funny that you mentioned this because a lot of people, when when you ask them here in the US, a lot of people confuse, or probably somewhere else too, in other places around the world, they confuse Dutch and German. And sometimes they tell you Dutch, but they're referring to German. How did that happen? Why is there confusion when we're saying German and Dutch, and people think that Germans are Dutch and Dutch are Germans?
Yeah, that's a good question, and maybe it has to do, yeah, with the history. Of course, Germany and the Netherlands, they are really, yeah, working close with each other,
Huh?
and like, yeah, we are really dependent from each other as well. And yeah, people they might confuse also because the culture is quite of the same. Like if you compare to other countries like Southern Europe, that's a complete other culture and
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, doing the way of business. The US it's another story, of
Yeah.
course,
Mhm.
and maybe it's also because of like the language. Like if we say Dutch, that actually in German it means Deutsch, and in the Netherlands, they speak Dutch, but at the same time, it's not the same as German. It's closely related. But that may happen also. Yeah, it may see some confusion in the language as well. I think people
Yeah.
don't really know it. So I think, yeah, we are quite similar, but at the same time, not similar because we speak a different language and we are another country.
Uh-huh.
um yeah, and when it comes to, yeah, for example, doing business, okay, yeah, he's from Germany, right? No, oh no, he's from the Netherlands. But the same thing is happening with Belgium and the Netherlands as well.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's just because I think maybe it comes just from the US. It may also come from other parts in the world,
Yeah.
but yeah, Europe, it's so small and it's so related and it's so like close to each other.
Connected and
They think it's all the same
interconnected. So
place.
yeah, yeah. But at the same time, it's so interesting because you're talking about sometimes countries on top of each other, and they're so connected, so intertwined in so many ways, but at the same time they're so different.
Yeah, totally.
It's
Like,
just
and
amazing.
that's
You
right. Yeah.
you walk from one place to another. Oh wow, what a huge difference. So that is good to know. The other thing we are going to talk about is the enthusiasm. How much positive emotion and energy do they typically show? I
I
see
would
you sitting
say,
relaxed, and you're not going with hands like I am. So tell me, how is enthusiasm in Netherlands?
yeah, like we are, yeah, one of the happiest nations in the world. I would say, like the quality of life, if I can start there, is really high. And Dutch people are always positive, right? If you compare to other nations in the world or in Europe, we are quite happy and we are quite um, like yeah, we love to be positive, right? But at the same time, if we compare it to Italy, for example, or Spain, like we are not that enthusiastic as them, right? Or Latin America, they show more enthusiasm and like the way that the gestures they are doing.
Uh-huh.
And in that regard, Dutch people are quite cold, a bit distant also.
Yes.
So that's right. So it's just how you see in what regard, right? So yeah, from inside, I think people are really happy, and they don't express it as that, right? And maybe they don't realize in, yeah, what a good country we are living. And on the other side, like, yeah, we are really we love to express, we love to talk, we love to do business with other nations. We are open-minded, and especially open-minded country, that I have to say. So it's good to know. And like people, they in the Netherlands, they love to talk to others to about their country, because Dutch people, they travel a lot,
Uh-huh.
and they love to travel, and yeah, they love to talk about that. And at the same time, they don't love to talk that much about their own country.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get to that. Now, what you mentioned is very, very interesting. And I will touch on what you say. You are a country of openness, very open. Let me ask you, how accepting are you of others?
Really accepting, yeah, I would say, yeah, yeah, we are. I think it has to do with something to be grateful for what we already have, and in that regard, we are a bit similar, like Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
Hospitality rate is really high. We love to show people, to talk to people, to accept people.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's just because of, yeah, being grateful for what we already have, and then we want to give it to others, also, and we want to receive more and accept more. I think, yeah,
Very
has to
good.
do something with
Very
that.
good. Very good. As far as you are the happiest country in the world, I'm going to tell you when I talk to someone from Denmark or Norway or Finland,
Yeah,
they're going to tell you, no, 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 no. We are the happiest
yeah,
people, not Netherlands. So we'll have that discussion later. Let's move on to formalities. How much of deference and respect do people typically show to or demonstrate when in public and also in intimate gathering? Like they're formal, casual. Because before, when be, I went to Netherlands twice or three times, and the first time I was told, keep it casual. But I did not understand that keep it casual thing, because I saw, yes, I was so impressed with the fact that I saw CEOs, manager, leaders of companies riding their bicycle and wearing suits and backpack, and they get in a line with the rest of the people. Yeah, that is casual. But when it came to having a conversation or conducting business, it's not that casual. So can you elaborate on this? That way people can understand what it means by being casual, and where do you need to be formal?
yeah, it's that's true. Like people in the Netherlands, they are really equal, right? So there is not, in compared to other nations, there is not that much of difference
Hmm.
between, I would say, like, for example, if I give you an example, in the university,
Hmm.
we really, yeah, the like the teacher, we really do things informally, right? So there is, I think, in Germany, for example, or in France or United States, there is more respect for the teacher than in the Netherlands. So that's really casual, that's really informal, and I think it has to do something with, also in the Netherlands, compared to other countries, the differences between rich and poor
Uh-huh.
are not that big, I would say.
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to, yeah, of course, you have to have respect.
Hmm.
But I think in the Netherlands, um, we don't expect that, yeah, respect as in other countries.
Hmm.
Of course, yeah, people, they like to be treated in a specific way, and if they have achieved something, a particular status like a
Yeah.
CEO, of course, they love that. But for example, yeah, it's really common to, for example, our prime minister, he still goes on a bike
Yes.
to his work,
Uh,
and that's something you don't see in other countries, I think.
yes. Yes.
A lot.
I do agree. I do agree. That was when I saw that, I was happy. I was impressed, and it left a good impression about Netherlands and Dutch people. So that is really nice to see sometimes. Obviously, There are some other countries in Europe that have some level of the same degree, but not as much as in Netherlands. So let's talk about assertiveness. How do people typically express their voice?
I would say here again, it's a bit formal,
Mhm.
right? So there is, yeah, for example, I had to work a lot of uncertainty in voice, of course.
Uh-huh.
So I think Dutch people, or compared to other nations, they like the difference in the way they speak is not that big, right? So I think there is not a lot of certainty in their voice, and maybe you have to just make, yeah, more finding in the words about how certain they are about something. So it's just about, yeah, the not about the way how express they something, but more about what words they are using. So I think, yeah, those people have to work on the way of certainty, especially in other language. They have to express it more, I think. So, yeah,
I'm just trying to understand that way we're not sending mixed messages as far as what you just mentioned. Obviously, assertiveness and how strongly do people typically express their voices. From what I've noticed, and I can be wrong, you can correct me. They're not afraid of voicing their opinion. Uh,
that's right. Yeah, when it comes to expressing their opinion, of course, the
yeah,
freedom
and
is.
they will tell you how they feel right straight up.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's totally right. You know, in that regard, yeah, we love to express our opinion, and because we are a country of freedom,
Mhm.
like don't touch our freedom. So that's really important. Like so, in that regard, we love to express our opinion, and we
Uh-huh.
love to express our voice, and that's really important also. Yeah, totally. Totally, yeah. Compared to other countries, that's really, really strong.
Yeah, I also noticed that um, they can be brutally honest, but
Mhm.
sometimes they can be they can be assertive with certain degree of politeness.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I think I just mentioned those two things the right way. Like at the same time, we love to express our opinion, and that's really important. Don't touch the freedom, and but at the same time, we try to be as polite as possible, right?
Okay.
So those things are really going hand in hand. On the other hand, if I, yeah, think like in shops, like people are sometimes, they are not that polite, right? So sometimes it can happen, and for other people that are coming to visit the Netherlands, like people from the UK, or people from Latin America, they are in their culture, they are so polite, and they are so gentle to each other. And when they, for example, really see people in a shop or in the train, and really, yeah, being a bit unpolite to each other, so in
Uh-huh.
just in the normal life, they're
Uh-huh.
really thinking, oh, okay, whoa, this is a shock. I
Uh-huh.
didn't expect this, right? So
Wow.
yeah.
So if anyone goes to Netherlands and just sees or notices or witness some odd situation where people are just expressing themselves, we shouldn't be taking it personally, right? It's just part of the culture.
Mhm. Yeah, a bit cold, a bit distant, a bit to themselves, not thinking really about others sometimes. Yeah, depends on, yeah, the situation of that person also. Yeah.
Depends on the situation. Let's say we are at work and an employee messes up. Can the manager or their superior, can they go in public and just tell them, well, you messed up, just like that? Or they talk to them in a private setting and maybe not directly tell them, okay, you messed up. but tell it to them in a different way? How does it work when conflicts arise or misunderstanding arise or anything of that sort present itself? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, first I would say that person is really going into a room with that person, and because, like I said before, people are really equal in the Netherlands. So, like a manager, um, he cannot say something brutally to them. I would say they would really say, "Okay, your children here, and you're really fighting this way, and it's not like it should be, of course."
Uh-huh.
And but I think, yeah, in the room, I think that that manager would really tell them from a way to improve things, of course,
Mm-hmm.
how it yeah, how it should be done, and of course we are humans, right? So something like that. um but like, yeah, he would never say that in public, oh, don't do that, because I think, yeah, we are more equal to each other.
Yeah.
And like the status, for example, in the US or in other countries, that is more present in the society
Mm-hmm.
and in the way of doing business. So the status, that's, yeah, like if you're a CEO, if you're a manager,
Uh-huh.
like in the US, you would more likely to do something like this in public, right? So you have to know your place there. And in the Netherlands it's more equal, right?
Okay. All right. How do we increase team performance in the Netherlands? How do we help a team, or how do we look at a team from a standpoint of leadership, and how do we help them produce more?
Yeah, teamwork, it's something, it's really something we are working on in the Netherlands. Like if I see it from when I went to school, we already had to learn on how to work in a team. So from that point, we are really, yeah, I would say,
Team oriented.
working in a group, but at the same time, like people, they like to work individually also.
Okay.
So we are a bit in between, I think, right? So like I know the US is really individual, um, when it comes to, yeah, working, and other countries, they are more working in a team, like collectivism is more important.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So yeah, when it comes to working in a team, yes, it is important on how to learn and how to do this. And I think in the society, also in the Netherlands, we are trying to do, yeah, things together,
Hmm.
um, and we achieve things together. So it's really, yeah, I think it's something important, especially compared to the US. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So teamwork is a highly recommended and a highly preferred method of doing things. At the
Yeah.
same time, individual achievements are appreciated as well.
Yeah, not as high as in the US.
Yes.
I
Okay. Yeah.
think if you achieve something in the Netherlands, like I think in the US, they would have more respect for you than in the Netherlands. Like if I can give an example, for example, for you want to have a career, you
Uh-huh.
want not be dependent from school, like a career in sport, for example,
Uh-huh.
in football or basketball. In the US, they have schools for you to dedicate yourself completely in, yeah, when you're 15 years old, 16 years old. Like they don't have that much in the Netherlands, right? So I see a lot of people, when they are 14, 15, 16 years old, like they move from the Netherlands to the US because there is more acceptance in their career and
Uh-huh.
achievement for themselves, right? Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I'm trying to understand and put it in another word. What I am understanding is obviously there are opportunities, but not as much as here in the US, or as far as what you just mentioned, individual achievement is not as appreciated as it should be. Is that
That
what it is? Yeah. And
compared
obviously,
to the US, yeah.
yeah, compared to the US. And as far as individual achievement, they see it from what I know. And again, you can correct me. In Netherlands, individual achievement is somewhat expected, nothing that we should praise, nothing that we should be so proud of, nothing that we should really cheer for, in that sense. I mean, I've seen it in so many European culture when an individual achieves, is like, okay, not a big deal.
Yeah,
That's
totally
what I've
agree.
noticed. Not like
Yeah,
encouraged and supported, as much as in the US to give more.
yeah.
That's probably what you meant. Now, self promotion. I know you're doing a lot of work with the coaching and all of that. Um, Here in the US and some other part of the world, self promotion is permissible. In other words, we'd like to talk about ourselves and all the achievement we have accomplished and where we were, where we at now. In Netherlands, how does it work? Is it permissible to talk about one's achievement, or that's something culturally not so much accepted?
I would say if someone in the Netherlands would really talk about themselves, yeah, they would, yeah, expect it to be a live in their own world a bit more, I would say. So, in the past, when I had conversations, and I talked to a lot of people in the world, they were just asking me and just saying to me, okay, enough about us, about me. Let's talk about you now, Goffin. So I really can see that, and I will also when I was in the US, I really see that people they like to talk about themselves, and so self promotion is not as expected and is not as normal as it is in other countries, like in the Netherlands. I would really say, like there is a saying in the Netherlands, and it's translated to English. Then, okay, just do normal, then you're crazy enough already. Just do
Okay,
normal. Yeah. So like the achievements for themselves and self promotion, it's not that expected. And I think in the Netherlands it's particularly low compared to other European countries. Like if you're really saying at as statistics of, I mean, Hofstede,
hmm,
then we are in masculinity, we have a score of 14, which is a really, really low score.
uh-huh.
So I think the society is really important. It's more important than self-promotion in the Netherlands.
So
Yeah.
how do people market themselves if they not talking about their achievements and themselves? How does marketing happen?
I would say it's really talk about in group more, talk about others, really showing interest in others,
Hmm. Okay.
and then maybe related to you somewhat,
Okay.
but it's really, yeah, giving them, yeah, for example, I think in the US there are more people that are self-employed, that are really that individual. So
Hmm.
it's really in the culture, it's already there.
Culture.
So
Yeah.
yeah, in the Netherlands I think here we have more people that still work in a corporate job. So
I
it's
see.
really normal here to do a corporate job. So if you have to tell that, okay, I am self-employed and I do this. So
Uh-huh.
you have to constantly remind people, okay, that you're self-employed and that you're living in your own world and that you don't have anything to do with others, something in that way, right? So it's not
Uh-huh.
as normal as in the US to be self-employed and to do self-promotion. Like when you're talking to others that are self-employed,
Hmm.
I think it would be better because then you're in the same boat already. But then you still would feel a bit okay, we are both a bit different than the others.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not so much is just because of the culture, and people are not are still a large number of people are employed. It's not a culturally well received as
Yeah.
much as it is here in the US. So that takes us to the other point, which is personal expressiveness. How much do people reveal about themselves? Do they talk like here? You'll go on social media and you scroll, and you can know the entire life of a person. Is that something that is that we see in the Netherlands, something that they do, or they're more of a private people and they don't talk about their personal lives and don't talk about themselves? I mean, you told me they don't do self promotion, but how about their life?
Yeah, it really depends on the type of person, of course. Compared to other European nations, we are quite active on social media. And especially nowadays, I see more people going into the coaching business or something to do online with self promotion.
Uh-huh.
So it's something that came from the US and then to Europe. So it's coming more and more. We're seeing it more and more. So yeah, I see an increase amount of people that are doing this. And but I think they do it in a different way also.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, less videos I see. I see, yeah, I don't see as much videos on the profile. And I think they also, yeah, when it comes to self-promotion on social media, like I spoke to a few Dutch coaches and they told me, oh, okay, I feel like I have to use Facebook for my family, and I have to find my clients through my website. So I think in, yeah, in other countries or in the US, it would be a bit more accepted to do this. And in the Netherlands, it's still new. People are new to it.
Yeah. And they don't reveal a lot about their personal life, right? It's more of a private thing.
Yeah, I would say like in that regard, yeah, we are not really expressing ourselves. For example, I keeping that, yeah, completely private. And I use I have just own Facebook profile, but I use it entirely for my coaching business.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
have some friends and family on it, but they just follow me there, and that's it, right? So I think in when I see to other coaches, yeah, they integrate more of their personal life, and they do it like a bit more together. That's
Uh-huh.
good. Yeah.
Okay. So we have an idea. Um, in Netherlands, obviously self-promotion is not well received or is not the norm. And also talking about your private life and revealing about your private life is something that is not part of the culture. Probably refrain from doing it or do it in a way where it's not is not going to turn people off. And I think I had mentioned this before. There's some cultures, the more you talk about yourself, the more they shut you off, basically. And
Yeah.
Netherlands is one of those. So you just have to be careful on how you approach people and how you approach, or what is the strategy you're using to promote yourself and promote your product or services. Now, one last thing I was told is eat light. Obviously, obviously, I did see that people in Netherlands are very slim just because it's a lot of it's the lifestyle.
Mhm.
I did not see obese people. I haven't been there for the last 5 years, so I don't know if it changed or what. But a lot, all I saw slim, tall people, and
Yeah.
um, and I was told uh, if you are in a meeting, eat light. What does that mean? I mean, if I eat a lot, will that be disrespectful, or it will be regarded as something that is just not done in our culture? What is it?
Well, I think yeah, eating is it is important thing. Like people, in the Netherlands, they like to live healthy.
Uh-huh.
But what actually happens is what I'm thinking. What's happening with you? Like in lunchtime, we really eat light, and then in dinner, then really eat heavy. Right, and like also, yeah, good breakfast, but not with eggs, bacon like you have in the US. Also the lunch you have, it may be really, yeah, bigger with a burger. And of course, yeah, people like that in the Netherlands, but they just don't do it at that time.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I was told that if you are going to meet someone, meet them over lunch rather than dinner. Dinner is not for meetings, and
Mhm.
dinner is not for any type of outside of family activities. Avoid that because people will not accept any invitation at night or during dinner time. Is always at lunch. Don't speak about business while you're eating, and eat very light. Is that a good assessment, good observation?
Yeah, I can totally imagine that you have experienced that. Yeah, dinner, it's really with friends, with family, and yeah, maybe not talking too much about business. Well, I see more at lunch. I see more.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, eating light, like compared to the US, I would say, yeah, that's totally true then. And yeah, when it comes to like yeah, the lunch and the dinner, I would say dinner is more heavy, and lunch is just yeah, a sandwich with cheese. That's all I eat during lunch. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what's the etiquette? Just give us an idea about the etiquette when we meet someone, when we meet a Dutch. What is the protocol we need to follow? I mean, shaking hands, do we
Uh,
hug? Do we give a kiss? I mean, how much of enthusiasm should we show at the first time? Formalities, just a little bit of etiquette and protocol will be helpful.
yeah, I think the Dutch culture is so mixed, and like first we have a lot of nationalities that live in the Netherlands. Like Amsterdam, it's almost 60% foreigners, to imagine.
Yeah.
And of course, we travel a lot. I think there is not really an etiquette, some rules for that. I think Dutch people, yeah, they like to shake hands, or at least before COVID. Um,
So now
uh,
let's shake hands.
yeah, when it comes to hug and those things, I think they are really a bit distant. Like some Dutch people, they may be a bit like you maybe experience it cold, a bit distant. Well, it's not with the intention, of course. And I really think, yeah, they love to talk about business or something like straight away. So expect that directness. And like in that regard, I really think, yeah, for example, to do business with someone, people, they love to, yeah, get straight to the point to something. And I think you have to expect that, right? So well, Dutch people, they want to do business with you. Yeah, they don't ask you those things. Hey, how is your day? How are you doing? They don't like that. Or no, they are there for the business, so they directly want to do business,
Exactly.
right? That
Yeah.
directness is so important, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
I noticed that. And negotiating says negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. And I found um, that some people are receptive to negotiation. They will really haggle you about the price, and some other people are not into negotiation. So which one do we go with?
Yeah, I think like Dutch people, they love to spend money, but not too much, right?
Okay.
And yeah, they don't like to spend money unexpectedly, I think. So they just want to have the time to think about it, to check those things out.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, from their culture, it's something, okay, don't spend money when it's not needed,
Needed.
or okay, want to save, want everything, want to live in a secure place. I think so. Yeah, the amount of taking risk is not as high, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
Like I already said before, I think in Europe it's in general something like that.
Okay, okay. Well, Golf, I am so thankful that you had given us from your time and shared with us these tips on how to work with Dutch people.
My
And
pleasure.
any final thoughts that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I think when you have a conversation with Dutch people, I think it's yeah, it's really important yeah, go directly to the business and not building that much rapport, I think.
Uh-huh.
And if you build rapport, then just yeah, talk about travel, talk about the international world, and I think that's really because yeah, Dutch people, they see themselves really as world citizens,
Citizens, yes.
and yeah, and then don't talk about too much about the Netherlands. I would say maybe that's something. For example, I would really prefer to have a conversation just about the world, I think, and not too much about the Netherlands.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, basically go straight to the point.
yeah.
They may seem cold, but you just give them a time to get to know
Yeah,
you.
and
And
also this is really important. I think if you think we are cold, like from inside of us, we are not, right?
yes, that's
For
yeah,
people, it's just our way to express it.
yeah,
Uh, I think it's really important to mention. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's why I said give it a time and build a sincere and authentic relationship, and also um, stay in touch. I think after you do business, it's so important to stay in touch. Just at least say hello, make a phone call, send a letter. Is that the best way to do it to maintain relationship with your clients after you've done business?
I think so. Yeah, it's important to yeah to mix it a bit in the private life also, and yeah, I think yeah, stay in touch, and yeah, I think it's important. Yeah.
And he invite them. Can you invite them to your home? As far as
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
totally. Yeah, like Dutch people are really open-minded for hospitality, right? But you always have to make an appointment for this. Like you have to call or to just text them. Don't go there unexpectedly or something. Like in many cultures is the case,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
and they
Okay,
would really yeah be surprised, right? Yeah.
very very good.
Yeah, appointment and just saying things beforehand, that's really important. So don't, yeah, also do one thing at a time and don't mix those things together because then that's people are going to be stressed.
Okay, don't stress people. Do one thing, do one thing at a time. Do business and then invite them to a personal gathering and private gathering. Uh, Gifts to avoid and gifts that Dutch like. What if we'd like to give gifts? Are they acceptable to the idea of giving gifts, or that's seen as a bribe or something? And if we give gifts, what should we avoid, and what should we go for?
When giving gifts, I really think it has to be called, yeah, from a personal point also. So then in that way you have to build a bit of rapport with them. And of course, yeah, like with gifts, everyone is really expecting this after gift. Yeah, it's really feeling like a bribe. Yeah, they know that for sure. Yeah, because
Okay.
yeah, you're like
So when you give, be careful of the timing when you give gifts. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah, really. I think in if that person is really in a positive state and you have built more rapport with them, or you yeah you talk something about you have in common with them, I think the gift would be more acceptable and more appreciated than in on a bad moment. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And anything that we can avoid, if you can share with us, if there's anything that we should avoid as far as gifts.
When it comes to gifts, and then you're really talking about gifts online, like freebies or
Any type of, let's say, for example, I'm taking flowers. Any type of color that I should avoid. Any type of, if I'm taking chocolate, if I'm taking a watch, I don't know. You tell me.
yeah. No, I think there is nothing you should avoid. Like they love the way, of course, love the gesture, and
Okay.
when it comes to colors, yeah, I don't think there is
There's any
wrong.
restriction.
Yeah, orange is our nation cover color. So that's maybe good to know. And chocolates, it's maybe yeah considered as love or something.
Very nice.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, and I think now there is nothing wrong with giving gifts. Like they are really, yeah, they love it. They love the gesture, and yeah.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, I guess we are going to wrap this up. Hopefully, the viewer, the audience, the listener has learned a lot from you, or at least some basics that they can use and utilize in their dealing with Dutch people. I thank you so much, Gof. I thank you for your time. Thank you for your information. And
My
where can
pleasure.
people find you as far as your coaching program?
Yeah, I have a website, and that's called goffedeboer.com. Maybe you can write it in the comments or in the description here.
Mhm.
And also, yeah, of course, on Facebook, I'm most present, of course, every single day in my messages. So that's just Goffer de Boer, and I'm also known as the ethical coach there. So just go on Facebook and watch up my name, and yeah, also write it in the description here. So yeah, there they can find me.
Okay. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day and also a wonderful rest of the week. And thank you so much for the information.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.